In case you missed it, last time on Farm2Table TV, we stopped by the Paris Farmers Market and met with some of the vendors, including Booth's Brew and Cook's Farms, before getting down to the BFT Ranch, and then meeting with Polly Holiday of Rollin' with the Food Snob. While I give a big shout out to our sponsors, I gotta tell you, I've got a passion for hunting, fishing, gardening, cooking, and well, mostly eating. So I'll be heading out from the Valley of the Sun and traveling on the back roads of America on an exciting and culturally rich journey to seek out local farmers markets all across America. Where in each episode, I'll take you to some of America's most incredible destinations as I venture out on a personal journey to discover, understand, and be immersed in the social movement that promotes supporting local agriculture, cultivating a healthy community, and increasing access to affordable local food sources. As we meet local growers, farmers, and restaurateurs, we'll get behind the scenes to hear their stories and taste regional dishes at a Farm2Table TV dinner. On this episode of Farm2Table TV, La Tour Eiffel Part 2, we'll head back out to the Farmers and Artisan Market at Market Square in Paris, Texas, where we'll meet with Paul and Meghan of BFT Ranch Beef, before heading a little further south to the city of Cooper, where we'll meet back up with Jennifer Dwyer to get a private tour of the historic Emma Grace Bed and Breakfast. While we're in town, we'll make a stop at Atlas Homestead to check out how Justin and Will revitalized an older home into a 5-acre micro farm, where they focus on educating anyone who's interested in learning about homesteading, from raising fruits and vegetables to farm animals, and having a blast while doing it. And if fishing's your thing, we'll hook up with fishing guide Tony Parker and Texas All Outdoors down at Cooper Lake State Park. We'll also get to visit with the Bingers at Paris Natural Farms, Dr. Amanda Green at the Paris Regional Medical Center, and Maggie McLean at the Quirky Bell Bakes. And we're all looking forward to a fabulous Farm2Table TV dinner hosted by the BFT Ranch, where we'll get to enjoy some live music, our newfound friends, and spend time with family. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Farm2Table TV.
You with the sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside of you can make you feel so small.
So today we are at Atlas Homestead here in Cooper, Texas, and I am with Justin and Will. Thank you for having me out here.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming.
This is an absolutely fascinating place. I've got the brief tour here a little bit.
Yeah.
And I can see how much work you guys have put into this. I know you say that it's a work in progress.
Definitely a work in progress.
Well, welcome to farm life, right?
Yes, that's it.
It's always a work in progress. But you've done a lot of work here. I can see that you guys have poured your heart and soul out into this place, and man, it is super, super cool. Yeah. So tell me a little bit, tell me about the dream. How did you guys end up here in Cooper, Texas with this place?
Well, we always knew we wanted to know where our food came from. I come from a farming family. Personally, Will does not, but he was always interested in it. We always knew that we wanted to have a hands-on experience in growing our own food. In 2017, I'm a school teacher by trade also. Sure. And I asked our realtor to find us a place that is within 1 hour of the front door of the high school that I teach at.
Okay.
And we went through a dozen or more houses, and we found this place here in Cooper, Texas. But we ended up here in Delta County, Cooper, Texas, specifically the county seat. One of the things that we love about it so much being here is that there really are more cows than there are people. Like, you want to get back to the land, here you have it. I think on the last census, there were 5,500 or 6,000 people in the whole county. So 2017, we purchased the homestead, and we began building our pens and, tilling our soil and that kind of stuff to get everything ready for us. And
I mean, what was it like when you bought it?
It was the home.
You had the home.
Yeah, we had
there.
the home and the barn. There was the barn
Okay.
was here. Other than that, the garage. So we had the detached garage, the house, and the barn, and everything else that you see now we've put together with dreams and
It was pretty much
sheer will.
a lot.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. And
Yeah.
like you said, it was the house, the garage there, and
Yeah.
the barn down there, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Just a fence
Yep.
going down the street.
I always joke where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So I create this idea, and then he shakes his head and is like, I don't know, and then we
Fine
do
tooth
it.
and nail and do it.
And then we do it.
Yeah.
We do it. Yeah. Now it's just gotten to the point where it's like we can either argue about this or we can just do it. We're gonna do it, and then he's just like, we're just gonna do it. And I'm like, yeah, deal. That's
go.
exactly
There
how
you
we're
go.
doing it. But it really didn't start off as the idea of it being a business. It didn't start off with like us wanting to open up our homestead to the public. It wasn't until in my classroom we would go over stuff. I would bring animals from the homestead up to the school so we could do I teach biology and anatomy, animal science, that kind of stuff. And so the kids would ask me questions like, can a chicken have eggs without a rooster present?
I mean, it's crazy to me to even think that that's a question. I mean, I know it's out there that people don't know where their food comes from, but I mean, it's really interesting to even think that there's people that don't know that.
No, I had a girl that I thought was joking, and if I didn't know her, I would say that she was joking, but she was deadpan to my face. She's like, are beef cows like dairy cows? Do we just take what we need from them and then they kind of regrow and do their thing? And I said, no, baby, they all in. They all in. It's all in.
I'm just gonna take part of the rump out.
That's it. It's all just they're going to have surgery, excise something, and then coming back. Yeah, but it was, I had kids that didn't know the difference between a horse and a mare, and it just got that feeling. So I told Will, I said I wanted to be able to open up our home and homestead to the public, to have people come out and actually see homestead life, to get a feel. I guess it goes back to that saying, like, teach him, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So they could come out, and we have animals and plants and things that we do offer to the public for sale, and we'd be glad to sell them to you. But we'd also like you to experience how to use the property that you have, whether it be a residential backyard, or it be 150 acres or more, farming kind of thing that you're wanting to get into. It fits everything. Every single person, no matter what they have, no matter what dwelling they live in, everyone is able to kind of take a step back and actually grow something themselves, actually get that real intimacy with their food again that we've lost over the last few generations. So.
Hey, if this is your idea of saving up for a rainy day, we're your land specialist. Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place.
There's a movement of people taking, having the backyard chickens, and so they could come out here and kind of learn about them and learn how to raise them, learn how to, maybe build a chicken tractor. Figure out, what do they need to eat, what's gonna make them produce eggs on a regular basis and stuff, because a lot of people don't know that. You want to, obviously, you have animals, you want to make sure you're keeping them healthy.
That's it. Healthy and happy. When I tell my students, or when people come by, chickens are dual purpose. The turkeys, they're kind of all in. We raise rabbits. So out of the 268 counties in Texas, there's not a city ordinance against rabbits. You have city ordinance against fowl. There are some cities in Texas where you can't raise birds like that at all.
Sure.
But there's no one that says that you can't have rabbits, and rabbits produce manure, which we use in our gardens every spring. It's a wonderful compost. It's a cold compost, so it doesn't actually like get hot as it composts into soil. They're a perfect meat source. They're a wonderful source of protein. You can get it just like you would be having a chicken from the store, and you can raise your own no matter where you live, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So now tell me a little bit about the animals that you have here. You have a real wide variety, and I know we're going to go take a look. Sure, you're going to tell us a little bit about the the different things that you have here. But I mean, what kind of animals do you have here?
So we specialize in small hoof stock and smaller livestock. We have a 5-acre homestead here, and really to kind of show that footprint can hold and kind of do with rotational grazing and some supplemental feeds and stuff, that you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. The only thing, I think we were joking earlier, the only things that we currently do not have on the homestead right now are camelids, which include llamas, alpacas, and camels, and sheep. So we have everything else. I guess not yaks. Yaks I don't think do well in Texas at this point, or I've been told. So I haven't ventured off into yak territory.
But you do have a water buffalo.
I do. We do have Maximus, the Asian water buffalo.
Yeah.
And he's about a year off from being able to be an ambassador. We're teaching him to ride under saddle.
Wait, I didn't know that you could ride a water buffalo.
Yeah, no, we have a little bit of everything, but we specialize in smaller hoof stock and small rabbits and poultry and other fowl.
Yeah.
So mostly heritage. In fact, everything we have is a heritage breed. We got on the Livestock Conservancy and looked at breeds that were endangered or threatened, which people then are like, well, then you eat them. And the hashtag is like, you eat them to save them. If you don't know about them, then and I think when we go take our tour today and we show the pigs and stuff, those are all heritage breeds that we have. Our ducks, the turkeys, all the chicken breeds that we have, about 10 different breeds that we focus on. Even the goats are heritage breeds. We have dairy goats that we raise for milks, cheeses, things like that. So
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of animals here, and it's so cool though what you've done in a small area. And I think that people think about going and having a farm. They think, well, I've got to be able to buy this enormous cattle ranch to be able to do it, and then people just kind of think that is like so much property. Am I ever going to be able to afford that much property? Could I even take care of that much property? But people are slowly but surely starting to figure out, well, I can do a lot with a little. Yeah. And I think that the education process of that is really important, because people don't know. How would I do that if I have an acre, if I have half acre, or if I have 5 acres or 10 acres? What could I do on that? So being able to come to someplace where they can get educated is great. Now, you also, you guys have landscaped this, and I know, like you said, it's still a work in progress, but there are, how many plant species do you have here?
Oh, I think there's, just in roses, I think we have 35 varieties of roses that we grow here on the homestead, and wonderful people that all of them have been purchased from fairly local, small scale nurseries. We try to help out where we can. It's all about networking, right?
Sure,
we always decide if you take the crazy pill and you want to do things small and go, you gotta all work together to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything from medicinal herbs, there's lemon balm going around, but that was the other thing too, when you say that, and I appreciate that you can see the beauty in the construction that we have, because it's, sometimes when you live it, you just think, you see the things that aren't finished
you're only thinking about, I got this and this and this, and that honeydew list is like long and not very distinguished. It's just
a scroll that he just whips out and just keeps going.
Yeah. And then you go, and when you're done with that scroll, here's another scroll.
Yes, I've got a whole, it's the Library of Alexandria in the house. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So but we've gone to several places to pick up our stock and meet some wonderful people And those wonderful people, they raise beautiful animals, and you can see just how much work they put into them. But the farm, I mean, it doesn't, there's hodgepodge this and that and everything. And we wanted, when we decided that we were going to want people to come and to see what a homestead looks like. A homestead doesn't have to smell like a pigsty when you're going to buy pigs and stuff. And so we wanted to have the look, have the function of a fully working homestead, but have the look of something almost like a menagerie or something like that. Yeah. So as we have the pens or the paddocks or stuff, we still have landscaping. There's still some beautification. I mean, a pen can only, wood, nails, and fencing is only so pretty. So we do go through and we try to landscape it out, and I think it makes the animals happy. I mean, I've got pansies the chickens are eating right now as we speak that I just planted. For this tour today, and I text Will and just said,
being devoured.
They are eating my edible flowers right and left as we do this. And you know what? That's what they're there for. That's, it's fine. I enjoyed them yesterday, and they're enjoying them today. That's it. In fact, we got them from a local nursery here in town, and she was like, "What colors do you want?" And I said, "I don't think it's going to matter, really. They're not going to last more than 36 hours with the birds out." But
they won't.
It's good. It's fun. You've got to have a passion for this, though, and I think we talked about that a little bit today on our tour. When people are doing this, you've got to just remember that it's so much fun and it's so rewarding. As long as you have the right mindset, the expectation that things are not always going to be beautiful for a minute.
Or they may be beautiful for a minute.
Yes, for a minute. Yes, you get a fleeting moment of what that looks like when we have someone come up and they come to the homestead and they take the tour, purchase an animal from us or purchase a tree or whatever, they so see fit. It's the experience that they have. Everyone who ends up posting on our social media or anything talks about just the experience that they had. Our animals are happy, we're happy. We want to make sure that when you're learning, it's in a positive environment. And I think we've accomplished that, or we will, hopefully continue to accomplish that as we keep up and fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
Finish that up.
Yeah.
The roads we take in life don't just take us someplace physically, but also spiritually. And the best roads we take aren't paved, but dirt or gravel. When we leave the pavement, we leave the outside world behind. We tend to focus on what really matters: our families, our friendships, and the land and wildlife we share with those people. At Mossy Oak Properties, we get that, which is why when you need the road to lead to your favorite place, we're your land specialists. Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place.
Today we are here at the Emma Grace in Cooper, Texas, and I am with Jennifer Dwyer. Tell me a little bit about how this came about for you and Paul.
We came across some buildings here on the square for sale, and we purchased those about 5 years ago. I had always considered opening a bed and breakfast, and this is a little different venue than what most people think of a typical bed and breakfast. It's not someone's home that they've restored or parted out into separate rooms. Building was built in 1900, and we had to pay it some homage to the special things that have gone on in the history of the county and the building. So
when it was built, what was originally here?
She was built as the warehouse for the hardware store that faces the square, Hensley Hardware, which was opened in 1897.
Okay.
So 3 years later, they were a bustling enough town, needed a warehouse. So started warehousing. World War I, it was a Red Cross hospital upstairs, housed patients. And then World War II, it was part of a chicken canning facility. They would tin chicken and send it to our troops overseas.
Huh.
Later it became a furniture store.
Okay.
And then again, last last known open business was Texas Power and Light. So folks in the community would come and pay their light bills here.
Wow, I mean, a lot of history over that time.
Like I said, she's a grand old building, grand old lady.
Yeah, wow. It's not that far away from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so people that want to come out for a weekend or something.
And we have a lot of guests that do just come out for a single night, come out, hike the state park, have dinner on the square here in town, and stay with us, and then go home the next day. We're an hour from the Metroplex. Yeah. So a close jaunt if you want to go out.
Make for a nice date weekend or something.
Absolutely.
I know you got a room there we'll check out in a second that you mentioned is great for honeymoons and for date nights, date weekends, stuff like that. So if somebody wanted to find you guys, make a reservation, how would they go about doing that?
Well, we have several different avenues for that. We do have our own website, theemmagrace.com, where also you can find us on Expedia, Travelocity. We're listed with all of the major travel websites. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
There you go.
So follow us. We do post our breakfast that we serve to guests, and we welcome comments. We post menus, recipes, so just kind of what's going on in the town.
Let's go take a look around, and you can tell us a little bit more about this building and kind of some of the unique rooms that you guys have.
I'd be happy to show you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's go.
At Pavati Boats, we demand perfection. Our engineers turn to aerospace technologies and materials to design and build the lightest, most stable, best rowing drift boats ever developed. For us, versatility is essential, and with over 16 patents and counting, including our trademark drifter doors, quick lock seat systems, and the industry's only true level floors, the Pavati revolution has begun. Experience it now at PavatiMarine.com.
Our first room on the tour is the botanical room. So you can see our signature piece, and why we call this the botanical room is our original floor covering that we found rolled up here as leftover piece from the furniture store. We had it cut, cleaned, and bound to fit the room size, hence the name botanical room. And our next room featured is the Clipper. It sleeps 6. So our Clipper room features lofted beds, all original to the space. We've got some nautical details that have been procured from different stores around the area, and our octopi were produced here locally by our metal man. Our room number 3 is called the Hemingway, and that started with a couple key pieces, and I found the Old Man in the Sea, which you'll find when you check out this room. So our Hemingway is perfect for a couple or a single. And we've got a couple warm finishing touches in here, and it includes a shower. All of our rooms have ensuite bathrooms, so no need to share. These are some of the treasures that we found when cleaning out the building before we started our renovation. We have a 1923 map and a 1926 map of the square. This is my favorite room because as a rancher at heart and by profession, this is called the ranch room. So the ranch room features 2 single twin beds. My draw for this was our wagon wheel light fixture, but but also just a sense of the true bunkhouse feel. We've got homemade quilts, the wood floor, a small stand-up shower with our original barn tin in it. Makes it a really unique, cozy, comfortable room. Room number 1 is the Moulin Rouge suite. It's a honeymoon suite, perfect for couples and for that special event evening. So our Moulin Rouge is our sexy room, perfect for date night, birthdays, anniversaries. We have a double slipper tub for both of you. This is actually the only room that has a fireplace. So we also enjoy offering a complimentary bottle of your favorite beverage. One of our 2 ground floor handicap accessible and pet friendly rooms is the stateroom. Welcome to room number 7, the final room on our tour. This is the Up North. This room was inspired by our many wonderful family vacations taken in the northern portion of Minnesota. We hope you find it as campy as we feel it to be. The garden space here at the Emma Grace is inviting for our guests. They're available to take their coffee out here in the mornings or sit in the evenings when it's a little bit cooler and enjoy the soft breezes and our flowers.
Okay, we're on Cooper Lake, just north of Sulphur Springs, Texas. The fishing the last couple of years have been off due to low water and things of that nature. And this year it has really picked up. We've got huge schools of sand bass, big hybrids, catching them in really good numbers. It started with a low water, and then about 3 years ago, a real cold winter. Where our water temperature dropped below 40 degrees. That resulted into a major shad kill. And once we had the shad kill, well, the next summer the lake was still low. It come up enough before we could fish it, but the fish had no bait fish to eat. I mean, it was literally void of shad for a while until they started spawning. But you know, it was just really, really tough fishing. You know, you might catch 1 or 2, and you know, the sand bass were nil and void. I mean, they were hard to come by. And normally on this lake, a limit of sand bass is a given. I mean, even in the spring, we couldn't find the fish. I think we just have a really good year with enough rain this year that we had a good spawn. The stockings of fish that the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department put in the last couple of years has really taken hold. The sand bass is, like I said, just a slam dunk. We've already caught 40 or 50 of them today and not even trying to catch them. It'll stay good throughout the hot part of the summertime. And the afternoon is definitely the best time to fish. I normally start my trips at 1 and get off the water around 5:30. What we're doing today is dropping an 1.5 ounce slab to the bottom and just drifting the humps, locating the fish on the humps, main lake humps, and just dropping a slab down to them. Fish are typically going to run 12 to 21, 22 foot deep. We're catching actually 2 age classes. We're catching one just under 18 inches and then the larger ones between 6 and 9 pounds. So it's just really bounced back. It's about as good as I've seen it, and I've been guiding here 12 years, 15 years, something like that. I would rank it right up there as one of the best hybrid lakes in the state of Texas. In its heyday, and which I expected this fall and winter and next year to be as good as it ever was or better. And I rank it as one of the best in the state.
So this is our rabbitry. We have a 32 penned rabbit facility here. We raise 3 different breeds of heritage rabbits. So the way that we have our rabbitry set up is that our rabbits are on these free-floating cages here, and everything that they create falls to the bottom, and we use the bottom as our composting section. So if you look here, you can see we have some chickens and turkeys that kind of come in and do their thing. As they scratch, they actually create compost that we will use in our gardens. So I do not have to use petroleum-based fertilizers that people know have so many different odds and ends in them, certain carcinogens and just chemicals that you may or may not want to put in your body through the foods that you consume. So we have 3 different breeds, as I was telling you. We have cream d'argent, champagne d'argent, and then we also have some composites that we raise. The cool thing about rabbits is, like I was saying earlier, there's no city that doesn't allow you to have them. So having a pair, you can produce 6 litters a year of 6 to 8 rabbits that in 12 weeks would give you a 3 to 4 pound rabbit to put in your freezer, as well as compost that you can put in your pots for your potted garden that you would do out on your back patio. So nothing has to be this sprawling acreage to create a high protein source and fertilizer for your vegetable content in a small space. You literally could have something the size of about 6 by 3 and allow you to be able to have your meat source for a family of 4 for the year. So here's some of our blackberries, raspberries, and muscadines. You can see the turkeys having their field day in that. Here you can see all of our mulching that we do. We try to use the trimmings from inside the barn where we keep the goats and the cows and such. We top dress it because it's not composted yet, but it has a high carbon and it has some, of their creations in it. And as it breaks down on the top, it kind of leaches in and it gives them an insulation for mulching. The birds like to scratch around in it and find little bugs and stuff for their protein sources. And it just keeps everything feeling healthy and happy. And I really do believe that happy plants and happy animals give you the best harvest, the most bountiful harvest. So we have Navajo and Arapaho blackberries. We have some starting Baba raspberries. Hopefully they will get going right in time to pick back up in the spring. And then we have our muscadine grape starts here that hopefully will start to take off here in the next, year or so. They'll start getting over and take over this whole thing. But we want to be able to show you what you could also have as you come here. So seeing these, you would be able to actually purchase, blackberries, raspberries, muscadine grapes, but you could actually see what they look like as established plants instead of just kind of wondering like you do at some of those other nurseries. I wonder what this is going to look like. I wonder how much space I need for this. I wonder, you know, we kind of take the guesswork out hopefully for you. So this is our orchard section. And so this fall, about late October, first part of November, we're gonna go in and plant our fruit trees. We'll have peaches, apples, pears, and plums. And the varieties that we choose will be chosen for the Delta County region, but also, you know, a broader region of Northeast Texas. And you'll be able to purchase those as well after seeing what we have planted here. Right now though, we've got some biotillers going in and just turning everything up for us so we could get everything going. They're gonna stay in here for about another, you know, until we get ready for planting. So these are Gloucester old spots. They are on the Livestock Conservancy list as threatened or endangered. They're not critical, but they're either threatened or endangered. And they are nicknamed the orchard pigs because they were the perfect pigs for orchard farmers going through. They eat the fallen fruit, but they were not bad about rooting up the trees. They are very good at just grazing and eating what's off the ground rather than just destroying everything that's in it. They do a little bit all pigs root, which is what we're hoping for, just getting a little bit going in here. But they really are gentle as far as pigs go, which is why we chose them for our small space on the homestead. Yeah, in fact, they get called, they're black and white. So the old wives' tale on them is those black spots are caused by falling fruit, bruising their skin. So that was kind of interesting. So here we've got our goat paddock. We raise 2 different types of dairy goats. They're all full size. Hey guys, these are our livestock guardians. They do their job by protecting our goats. This is Woody Allen and that's Mia Farrow. So we have Alpines and I know I see you. We have Alpines and we have Toggenburgs. And so they are a full-size dairy breed. They have a nice butter fat to volume. Not quite as high as your Nigerian dwarfs or your Nubians, but a higher volume of milk. So we use them for cheeses and soap making and things like that. But also their offspring wethers grow out, I don't know, for processing. We also consume castrated males, so the wethers, whenever we have them in stock. In fact, that was going to be one of the farm-to-table recipes at the time. So great, great stuff. Here inside the barn, we've got a couple of brown Swiss dairy cows. Hey, you. These steers are going to end up being our ox team. Not everything on the homestead has a purpose for meat, milk, or, you know, textile or whatever. These guys are going to be ambassadors along with Max here, our Asian water buffalo. Max is learning how to take a saddle and we'll be riding him in the next year. Hey buddy, it's about time for dinner, huh? You're like, where is my food, huh? And then these guys will learn how to pull a cart. And so we'll have the chance for you to have a cart pulled by oxen here at Atlas Homestead. I don't know if you can see out here, guys, but we've got some mini jacks, little donkeys. They are great guardians. They make sure that these guys are safe from any stray dogs, coyotes, things like that that would come up. These guys are cracking me up. They're thinking it's definitely mealtime. Definitely mealtime. But whenever you come out here, just know that you're gonna have a good time. Like, have the experience. The animals are happy, you'll be happy, and we can show you how and what to do and maybe what not to do. Also, we'll let you talk your ear off.
We all love to make those dishes that make people happy.
Tonight we're making some bacon wrapped green beans.
Putting this tenderloin on.
I'm gonna roast these carrots.
Barbecue beef brisket.
This stuff's gonna be delicious.
My kids are gonna freak out. Best dinner ever. now it's the downtime and the fun time.
I could go hang out with my family.
Have a cocktail, relax by the pool.
Absolutely perfect.
Check out this beauty.
Food brings people together. It's the one thing we all share all over the planet.
Well, we've run out of time for part 2 of our pilot episode of Farm2Table TV here in Paris, Texas, but we'll be back again next week. Same time, same bat channel, when we head back out to the Farmers and Artisan Market at Market Square. We'll check in with BFT Ranch, and Dr. Paul will educate us on the difference of grass-fed beef. Then his daughter Meghan, she'll talk a little bit about why they decided to market their beef at the Paris Farmers Market. While we're here in Paris, we'll go all natural with the Bingers at Paris Natural Farms, and we'll see what it's like to move out of the concrete jungle and into living the dream of market gardening. We'll get into some doc talk with Dr. Amanda Green of the Paris Regional Medical Center and discuss the health benefits of eating organic. If you've got a sweet tooth, you'll love our segment with Maggie McLean of the Quirky Bell Bakes, especially if you're looking for some pretty tasty gluten-free treats or desserts for those who are on a keto diet. And yes, it'll be time for our very first Farm2Table TV dinner, hosted by the BFT Ranch, where we'll get to enjoy some live music, break bread with our newfound friends, and spend time with family. So be sure to tune in next Sunday to see what an amazing menu we've created from what each of the people we've met here in Northeast Texas have provided for our Farm2Table TV dinner.